be making their debuts.
Yeah. You know,
just your obviously you're running out of players. And,
yeah, I mean,
look,
the injury situation is obviously you know, fairly large at the moment for us. You know, it's something that we've had to deal with probably over the last 2 to 3 weeks. Ideally, you want to, you know, get to this part of the competition with a lot of continuity, and I think that's what we were asking of, you know, post the Crusaders game, but it's not that way, and you know, we've had to now juggle a bit over the last 2 weeks and bring in some new faces, but in saying that, it's obviously a massive opportunity for them to be part of something special, you know, going forward, and you know, they've got an opportunity to play well this weekend against the Sunwolves and work towards you know, still a playoff. So yeah, like I said, the injury situation is pretty tough, both with Eben, you know, out, and Damien Willems now out with a knee injury. Notch is also out, so you know, we've had to obviously juggle a bit, and Siabella obviously is also out with concussion, so we've had to juggle a bit, but yeah, Edward van der Merwe comes in, who's been outstanding at Varsity Cup, and he's been outstanding for the Super Sports side, and Craig Barry, who's been the captain of the Super Sports side, comes in. He's got, you know, plenty of Super Rugby experience, so you know, it's a great opportunity for these guys.
Damien, is that just a rotation? I mean, a Springbok thing?
That's a Springbok thing, yeah. So you know, he's missed one game, and we have, you know, brought him off the bench once or twice, but you know, it's at that stage now we had to make a decision to rest him, you know, either this game or next week. So it's this game, yeah.
And just those injuries, guys like Siabella, I mean, will they be back in the mix for the Sharks game?
Yeah, look, I think that Siabella is certainly someone that we can expect to be back. Same with Skara and Tabeni, certainly Damien Delenda, and then there's still Ruan Null and SB Marais for next week. So, you know, there's still some, you know, some players coming back in that regard. But you know, when it comes to the likes of you know, Eben, Noche, Sia, JD Schickling, you know, those guys aren't coming back.
Yeah.
No, Damien's he's probably going to have to need an op, and you know, he could be anything up to a month.
So, from a World Cup point of view, is he still think
No, he should be fine, you know. But again, you know, that's he's getting a second opinion as we speak, but he's certainly not available for the rest of our campaign.
And Eben?
No, he'll be out for at least 6 weeks.
6 weeks, but World Cup is fine.
Yeah.
Okay, and Noche and...
Noche is anything between 4 and 6 weeks as well.
What's his issue?
He injured his ankle on the weekend.
Saw him on crutches.
Yeah.
JD, I mean, he was on his way back, wasn't he?
Yeah, so JD, should we make the playoffs, he'll be available for that.
And David Mason and Chris Massane, just your thoughts on them?
Yeah, again, two guys that have played really well for the Super Sports side. You know, Chris Massane was excellent for Marty's in the Varsity Cup as well. He's been pushing hard and you know, quite an abrasive player, probably something that we needed last weekend against the Lions. So you know, he's going to make an impact from the bench. And then David is a young kid who's played really well for Jerome. You know, good in the lineouts, hard worker, you know, and you know, nice aggressive lock forward. So you know, looking forward to seeing how he can play.
Like, you're just having a specialist hooker back. Well, you did play with a specialist hooker last week, but I mean, you not playing with a situation where you've got to bring a guy in straight away, which obviously will spill over into your set phase.
Yeah.
So I mean, getting a guy like Bongi back must be...
No, it's massive. You know, take nothing away from the young guys that played last weekend. Bongi is a Springbok. He's a senior player within our group, so he brings massive experience. But just from a mental point of view to the rest of the group, you know, he brings a lot of confidence to the group. You know, and both him and Skara and Tabeni were missed last weekend, and just from a leadership point of view. But yeah, just the set pieces. Obviously, we expect them to go a lot better this weekend. We had some challenges, you know, and it's not just down to the young hookers. there were just too many disruptions last weekend. We lost both our locks in the first half. We had flanks playing in the lock position, and then suddenly we had hookers playing in the flank position. So it wasn't an ideal situation from a set piece point of view last week.
And Chris Van Zyl, he's quite an unsung guy. I think he did like that as well.
Yeah, so his timely return is massive for us. I think we've been speaking about the calling system and the lineouts, and we've had to rely on guys who haven't called before over the last couple of weeks. And to be fair, the lineouts have still gone all right. But Chris makes a massive difference from a leadership point of view, and just controlling the lineouts and the set pieces. So he's a welcome return back into the group.
What do you expect from the Sunwolves?
Well, Craig, I think they're an exciting team to play against, and an exciting team to watch. They tend to they like to play with a bit of width and put you under pressure with their skill set. So I think that they enjoy playing off a lot of turnover balls, and if you tend to kick poorly, they certainly will put you under pressure. They've got some decent threats out wide, so they've always been a tough team to play against, whether that's home or away. I think they showed early in the year that they can beat teams that away from and in New Zealand or in Australia. So it's their first time here in a while, and we certainly are looking forward to playing against them. They're just a well-coached team. And they, as I said, they like to move the ball around. So we'll have to be pretty sharp defensively. I felt that we probably let ourselves down last weekend against the Lions when they took us on with a bit of width. So that's something that we've had to brush up on during the week.
Kitsi, are you enjoying the captaincy? You look like you've been a captain all your life. Are you enjoying it? And what's the mood in the what's it like to captain now with so many injuries and young guys coming through? What's the mood in the
It's an honour to captain the DHL Stormers, and I think the team, even though we have so many disruptions and young guys coming through, it's easy when Pickles or Chris Van Zyl and Bongi and those guys get back, because it makes the leadership role so much easier. I think with the young guys coming through, they're all just willing to work hard and bring massive energy on the weekend, and they know what their job is, and they do it on during the week, and they get the detail done. So it's easier to be in front and take charge like that.
Rob, have you looked at the log at all? So just a matter of getting the win this week, you just can't put it out your mind?
No, look, obviously we look at the log every week, and every Saturday morning watching the games. But you're right. It's just about a week by week thing, and what's most important is that we win this weekend. If we win both games, then we've got a great chance of qualifying. Even up to 6th position. So it is possible. It is obviously also dependent on other results, but it really is in our own hands. And first and foremost, it's this weekend. What we want to do is firstly we want to play well, like we did against the Crusaders and the Highlanders, and find that form again, and then hopefully without any disruptions. And then it's all about getting the win, isn't it? And then next week is next week's challenge, but certainly first and foremost it's about us playing well and getting the win this weekend.
So let's talk about bonus points you guys need to be mentioning.
Look, yeah, so as I say, if we get 8 points out of the next 2, we've got a good chance of qualifying. If we get 39 points, even better, 40, even better. But first and foremost, it's about playing well and finding that form that we did it against the Highlanders and Crusaders, and then getting that win.
Stephen, obviously this game a lot depends on this game, and are you guys approaching this game as per normal, or are the guys really feeling the pressure, or is it just approaching it like another week?
I think the processes we followed during the week is the same we did every weekend before. Yes, there's a lot of pressure on this weekend, but I think the team is focused and is going to play just like any other Super Rugby game. I think when it comes to the game, it's going to be the leadership, quality and decision making that's going to determine whether we get a bonus point win or we just get a good victory towards the end of the day.
How much did this weather affect your training this week?
It did, obviously Monday was a bit, we couldn't train due to the amount of injuries and just assessing the situation, but the forwards still got out there and did their stuff, and then we pretty much played in a monsoon trained in a monsoon on Tuesday evening. And funny that actually, it's the first time I think that we've trained in the rain in 3 years. So, and the boys actually enjoyed it, So there were some smiles on the faces. It was, it was a change, but we had really good energy on Tuesday, which is, I think this week was all about sort of winning small little battles each day, and each challenge that came our way, as a management and a leadership point of view, we discussed it, and we just had to get through Monday and the review and get that battle and then get the boys back on the same page. Tuesday was much the same thing, and then today was obviously a very good session for us. So it's just, regardless, obviously Tuesday playing and training in the rain obviously helps if it is going to rain on the weekend, and but hopefully it's a good dry day, and we can put our plan in place.
Just on the Sunwolves, they've been struggling, and they're out of Super Rugby in a couple of years' time. Does that make them more dangerous?
It does. It does, and I felt like they certainly played very well away from home. So the teams that they played against, the last 2 games they probably struggled a little bit, but they seemed to tour quite well. So I think they're a dangerous side. They've still got lots to play for. There's certain guys in the team that are playing for World Cup positions. So I think the motivation is there for them. I'd like to think that there's more motivation from our side, especially after last week and what's going forward.
Can I just get in Afrikaans? Can I just, the answer you gave? Kitsy. Just about being I'm honoured to be captain of the THL Stormers and captaining this week, and Mitch and Chris Mansell and Bongi helping you, and just with the younger players get on Afrika.
Ja, het is 'n groot eer om 'n kaptein te wees van die THL Stormers. En ja, om die rol makliker te maak is great om vir Chris Mansell terug te hê en vir Bongi. Ek dink hulle bring groot leierskap aspekte en beheer in die game, en die jong ouens wat deurkom, hulle werk is maar net om energie te bring, hulle detail te ken en maar net die game te gaan speel, en ons sal die calls maak en voorvat, en soos ek sê, ons kan 'n kombinasie van senior en jong spelers bymekaar kry, en dan sal ons 'n goeie game op die naweek hê.
Thanks for that, Kitsy.